Thank you for joining me. We were talking a little bit off camera, off record here, but you are from Ghana, correct? If you're in Ghana, you've been there your
Yeah,
whole life, or how long have you been there?
yeah, my whole life.
Whole life, whole life. Okay, great. And you're in your 30s now, and so you have been into Bitcoin, learning about Bitcoin adoption, using it there, and like you were just saying, we've been you've been trying to figure out how do we help people understand Bitcoin because most people there think of everything on the internet in regards to money as a scam. So anyway, I know you just tell me some of your backstory, but I'd love to hear more about where did you hear about Bitcoin and what use has it been to you there?
Okay, thank you. Um, I had Bitcoin, let's say, around 2019 there about. Let me backdate it to 2018. Yeah, I had Bitcoin around that year, and one thing is, as I said earlier, in our parts of the world, everything related to the internet, we call it a scam because that is what has been happening here. So, way back when I heard it, as usual, also calling it a scam. I I was by then into multi-level marketing business, um, product business. I don't know whether you've heard of Herbalife and those kind of businesses. Yeah, so we engage in a lot of MLM businesses, and then we sell products and all that. So sometimes when we are presenting these companies to or these products to people, we hear some of our friends talking about Bitcoin. And I say, please don't go there. Bitcoin is a scam. You see, they will take your money and all that. So we were having that kind of mentality until I think around 2020. Yeah, that was when COVID actually hit Ghana. So we were in lockdown back then. So I remember I was in this online business. It was actually thriving. I was making a lot of money back then. At least let me say a bit. Yeah. So um, I met one of these. I met a colleague who was also in the business from Cameroon, and he was like, "Hey, have you heard of Bitcoin?" I said, "No." And he was telling me that when he gets his profit from the business, he mostly withdraw it through Bitcoin. And I was like, how? That is possible. So I made him taught me how the process. And I said, isn't Bitcoin even a scam? And he said, no, no, it's not a scam. So he taught me how he always withdraw his money through Bitcoin and all that. And I said, as for me, so local remittances. So I prefer the mobile money, which is the common one here. And that one, it takes less than 10 minutes. But he said Bitcoin, when he draws the profit through Bitcoin, it takes about, I think, 8 days. And I can't wait 8 days for my Bitcoin transaction to hit. So back then, he taught me everything about Bitcoin. And so I started with him to the first platform I think I registered was Pax4. Yeah, I don't know whether I've heard of it. Pax4 is a P2P platform. Ray, I don't know, I've forgotten the CEO's in Ray something something. He was the CEO of Pax4. It was a common P2P platform for Ghanaians and Nigerians and Africans and many people all over the world to trade Bitcoin and USDT and then other gift cards. So he introduced me to Paxful and then Mycelium. I think Mycelium is another wallet. I think non-custodian wallet also, yeah. So he introduced me to Mycelium and then um, I started buying Bitcoin from Passful and then transferring it to Mycelium and all that. So he taught me everything. And then later on, I signed up on Coinbase and then Binance. So I would say I'm always grateful to that guy because he made me understand Bitcoin. And then from that point, I also started saying that Bitcoin wasn't a scam. So I started teaching people and I said, Bitcoin is good. You can buy some, it goes up and then you make profit and all that. So um, that's how the whole story started. From there, I've been learning. I've been taking courses. My first course was on, I think, Carrot app. It is now I think Bitcoin magazine. Yeah, Carrot app was.
Mhm.
It's now, I think it's now Bitcoin magazine. I took my first 21 days Bitcoin course there, and I got my first certificate, and then 21,000 sats for free. So I fell in love with the whole course thing. I started some on Coinbase and then Binance Academy and all that. So that's how the whole story has been. Yeah.
So you in many ways you've had a similar journey to a lot of us here in the West. A lot of us here, like myself included, 2017, 2018, pretty much ignored Bitcoin, and then 2020, kind of like your story, woke me up a little bit, got me thinking about it. And so I'm curious for you. So it sounds like, so at first you thought it was a scam, like many of us, including me, once thought that, and then it had that use case to you where it fit that use to you, where okay, I don't have to wait 8 days for my transaction, I can get it in 10 minutes. But was it the courses? At what
Yeah.
point did it go from that specific transaction speed use into viewing it as something more than just a different way to move money faster, like using it as a savings tool or using it as some other use beyond that? At what point did that switch click in your brain and you started viewing it in that sense?
Okay. Um, as I said earlier, back then we're in this business, we're in this online business, and when you make your profits from business, there are other withdrawal. We have the normal mobile money one, that is the local one, just instantly, and then we have the Bitcoin one that takes 8 days. So I was I wasn't in line with the 8 days because I need the money instantly. So when my friend introduced me to Pass4, that when he get the money, he withdraw it through his Bitcoin wallet on Pass4. And then when it comes, he can sell it and then make profit. So it means beside the profit he's generating from the business, when he gets the profit in Bitcoin, he can also sell and then get extra profit. So at that moment, I was like, oh, so I can even make extra if I can just wait for just 8 days. So when he introduced me to Pass4, I would say that is when that switch happened. Yeah, because on Pass4 you can easily buy and sell, buy and sell, and all that. So that was the switching point. Yeah, I'll put it that way.
Now, let's see. At what point was Nigeria in there as well? Because obviously you're not in Nigeria, but Nigeria is, not too far away. What kind of cultural shock or impact did that have for you, for your community? Obviously, if Nigeria is having this, with Paxful and elsewhere, where you're not able to trade it anymore, and there's all that controversy with it going up dramatically in Nigeria, what impact did it have for you on a personal level, and then possibly in a community level? What has that had for you?
Okay, so if I get your question right, it means you are trying to ask or you want to find out what happened, like the impact that when the Nigerians people were banned from using crypto or Bitcoin, the impact that it had on our community. I think that's the question. Yeah. Okay. Sure. So when it happened that way, the Ghanaian markets in Ghana, let me put it that in Ghana, most people don't hold the BTC. They see Bitcoin as a business. Those who are into Bitcoin, they see it as a business or investment. Let me put it that way, because they prefer buying it and then selling, because our currency is inflated. We are our currency is being devalued and all that. So they see it as having Bitcoin or USDT as being upfront. Yeah, because at any point in time our currency is being devalued. So when you have your currency, or when you have money in dollars, you can always convert it and get more in our cities. So in Ghana, we mostly see Bitcoin as investment. So when this thing happened in Nigeria, the Ghana market or the Ghanaian exploded because people from Nigeria were now coming in. Any offer that you set for to sell your Bitcoin, people were going to buy it because they really need it. So I would say that one way that news impacted our Ghanaian community, crypto or Bitcoin community, was that it actually elevated our marketplace. So on Binance, those who mostly buy and sell, you can see that the offer that they were setting and all that, they were all high. So it gave them more money. So that is how it is. But people were not afraid that something bad is also going to happen. No, people are not afraid.
Yeah, definitely something bad could happen there. So let's see if we could. You were just talking about how most people there see it as that kind of investment because your currency is being devalued. This is if I think I have this up correct. Tell me if this is wrong here. This is the I hope I have the right chart up here. And I don't know if this is an official rate or not, but if we go out to the max here, see here in the United States where I am, Bitcoin is not near all-time highs, but for you, it's about the same in
Yeah.
your local currency as it was all the way back in 2021. So for you guys, it's close to its all-time high. Where if we go to or if you go to the dollar, it would be different. So I mean, we can definitely see it in the chart there. Are many people understanding this, or is it still a very small group? Like many people see Bitcoin like this, or most still see it as a scam?
Yeah, most people see it as scam. Yeah. So currently there are some few individuals on Twitter who are in Ghana, X. So there are few individuals on X, or let me say Twitter, who are trying to come out with projects to orange pay people in Ghana here. They are going from school. They are going to schools. They are also going to different communities. They organize conference and all that, and then teach people about Bitcoin. Those of us who are also occupied, and we can't take that step because we are working and all that. We don't have that time. We also try using WhatsApp groups, and then maybe sometimes other avenues that we think we can use to gather some few group of people and then teach them on WhatsApp. That is a direct contact. You can easily call them or ask them questions. They can also ask you questions and all that. So this year I started, I think about 4 months ago, I started something small with a small group of people, and then I taught them something about Bitcoin. Some of them are now actively on Twitter, starting stats, and I am saying that I think the knowledge that they've acquired, they can also share it with others. In that way, we'll be expanding and adoption will be going bit by bit. So in our part of the world, it's not easy. You can't even, when you use something, when you use Bitcoin post on your stats on WhatsApp, somebody will see it and then just comment scam. You get it? Or when you talk about something like that, people will see you as you are dealing in scam. You get it? Just few people who ask you what is it, then you get time and then explain. But most people not even comment. Yeah. So those who comment, you see them as potential, should I say, candidate, or you approach them and then you teach them about Bitcoin. So that is how we are also doing it here. Yeah, bit by bit.
Yep, bit by bit. Yeah, it's interesting to hear how in many ways it's similar to here. People on here don't talk as much on WhatsApp. They talk more on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, but it's the same story of human psychology. We think it's a scam or we think it's too good to be true or whatever, and we ignore it at
Yeah.
first. So So what do you think is going to be the catalyst for you guys? Like what do you think will cause people to learn more about it? Do you think it's going to be more currency devaluation, or do you think it's going to be some other event, or do you think it's just time? Do you think it's just time being a factor of needing people to figure it out? Like, do you think there's going to be something that'll incite more people to learn?
Okay. I think there are three things that come into play at the moment. We have time, government policies, and then inflation or our currency. So these three things are going to actually, um, within some point in time, is going to change the course of everything. With government, um, in our part of the world, we mostly rely on government to do the best, put in best policies so that we, the citizens, will have the kind of life that we deserve. So if a government comes into power and then it's not up to task and all that, we know that we are going to lose hope in the government and then we'll switch to another government and all that. So if a government comes and then the government is the type who is interested or who is into Bitcoin and yeah, let me put it that who is into Bitcoin and all that or crypto, yeah, let me put it that way. Yeah, then it's going to change everything. It's going to change everything. And also, if nothing as such happens with time, you know that our currency is never going back. It's always going to devaluate. Yeah, the whole world, the fiat currency, we know that devaluation is inevitable. It's going to happen all the time. It's going to happen. Do know, but it's going to happen. So with time, we all realize that what happened to Zimbabwe or what is happening to Lebanon, what is happening in Venezuela, Argentina, and Brazil and those countries, that their currency is being debased and devalued such that they can't even trade with their own currency and they are switching to a stronger currency. The same thing will happen, and when it happens that way, it will be easy for you to orange pay people, teach them about Bitcoin, and then I think everything is going to change like that. So currently, when we are teaching people about Bitcoin, that is where my focus is. I bring your idea to the state of our currency, how things are going to be. Let you know that it's never going to change. No government is going to change it. So we are always going to have our currency being devalued. So if there is a currency that you can switch to and be safe, why don't you? So sometimes it echoes into some people's mind and then they take it. Others too, they just overlook it. It's an individual thing. It's about how you value money or how you see money. So if you are the type that you see money as something that you should own and not something that somebody should possess, then it will bring your mind to that. But if you don't care about money and how it goes down. So one thing about me is when I started taking these Bitcoin courses, it actually opened my eyes. It made me understand the money that we are using now and everything. So I just hope everybody can see that.
Yeah, I hope so. That's a good answer. Time, governments, and inflation. And time always moves forward. Governments will always be
The
advancing,
point.
and inflation is always going to be getting worse. So, yeah, hopefully more can figure it out as you have, and they may not even need the courses to get there. So, what is your local inflation rate? It's is it 30% still? What do you know? What do you know what it is? Like, what's your inflation rate been the last 12 months?
Well, I'll I would say it's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Uh, Recently, I was telling one of the individual that I was orange pilling that next year they are going to introduce new notes. I told them. I mostly tell some of the I mostly tell the group uh, that there is going to be a new note. Is because the note that we are having, the currency, the largest note that we are having is the 200 Ghana cedis note. Yeah, I
Hmm.
think that is close to, let's say, $15 or so. Yeah, let's say 15 or $12 or somewhere about. Yeah, close to $15. If you convert it to Ghana cedis, that would be, I think, 200 Ghana cedis or so, $18. So that is the largest note. And this note, if you look at how things are going, very soon you need more of that note to buy certain products. So if you are going to need more of that note to buy more product, then the government will see it prudent to print a huge note so that you need less note to buy another product. Just as it happened in Zimbabwe. Yeah, they printed, I think, 50 trillion Zimbabwean dollars. That was less than 0.5 cents. So there's going to be huge notes next year because our inflation is very bad, very
Yeah.
bad. So I don't, I can't actually give the figure, but it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, well,
Price of
it sounds significantly worse than the 30% that Google
that,
says. I looked it up and I was like, that doesn't sound right. It's probably I mean, it's here in the United States. United States, they say it's 7% or it's 5% or whatever. When really it's
yeah,
more like 18%, something like that. So,
that's the truth. The figure they bring out is actually not the rare figure. The rare figure is there. They just bring out any figure to the
yeah.
public. Those who don't give much attention will just take it as that. But ideally, when you go to the market, you know that no, what they are saying, that's not it.
Yeah.
So that's not the truth.
Well, well, great. As we wrap up here, I guess what is, obviously most of my fans and listeners are from the United States, Canada, Europe, Australia, from the West. What would be
Okay.
your message to us Westerners in regards
Okay.
to Ghana or Bitcoin or you personally? What's your message to the West?
There are a lot of developments going on all over the world, and this development has to do with the social layer or the social aspect of Bitcoin, or the other, is it the third layer or the second layer? Is it the second layer, right? Yeah, apps and all that. So I believe that these kind of developments are ongoing in most of the Western and other parts of the world. But in Ghana and in Africa, we are mostly left out. You see a good app that you can use here to stack some sats, only available in Canada or USA, and not available in Ghana or any part of Africa. So it means we are being left out. Unless somebody from Africa or Ghana also creates his own app that we can use. So I believe those in the Western areas that are building, you should always consider us and then make some of the apps available for us in Ghana and other parts of Africa to also have access and then use. The folder app, I think the fold app is not available. ZBD app is not available in Ghana. Some other apps as well. The Rely app is also not available in Ghana and some part of Africa. And some other apps as well. They are all not available. But I believe these apps are a stepping stone to orange filling some of the Africans in Ghana. So
Yeah.
I believe uh, we should
Well,
really
great.
consider
Thank you.
that.
Yeah. Hopefully these apps continue to build things for you all and continue to be that stepping stone.
All right.
So thank you
Sure.
very much. I appreciate you joining and taking some time out of your busy schedule and your big life changes going on right now. So thanks.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank you for being a supporter of mine and a viewer of my channel here and a follower of mine. It really means a lot to me that you would support me in my efforts to expand Bitcoin education to a wider audience. And someone else that's doing the same here is my friend and fellow partner and supporter, Brian DeMint. Brian DeMint has done many efforts in Bitcoin here over the last few years, and this is one of them. This is his book. It's Bitcoin Evangelism. See, Brian was the former founder of a crypto project, and once he realized Bitcoin and why it's unique compared to other digital assets and other forms of tokens and money, he wrote this book. He wrote this book comparing why Bitcoin is unique in this sense. So no matter if you're new to Bitcoin, if you're trying to preach the message of Bitcoin, or you know someone that is a little more advanced, you know, wherever your experience level, where you are, this is a book that's probably going to be very useful.